Hello students, welcome to Ant's classes. Let's do geometry, fundamental concepts, exercise 14b. 7. Check your textbook and see how many pairs of its edges are parallel to each other. So now this is a textbook. Now edges, these are the edges. Okay, this is one edge, this is another edge. Similarly, we have edges here. So these are the edges of the textbook. Now the question is, how many pairs of its edges are parallel to each other? So we know what edges are. Pairs means we are talking about two, and the question about parallel means these are two edges that will not meet even if you extend them, and the distance between them will be the same. So these are called parallel lines or the parallel edges. Now to count how many pairs of the edges of a textbook are parallel to each other, we'll take a cuboid because a textbook is in the shape of a cuboid. So this is a cuboid and a textbook is in the shape of a cuboid. Now from this we can see all the edges in front, the edges at the back, and now we can count. Now there are many edges that are parallel, so we need to be careful when we count. So let's begin with this edge. Okay, so these are the edges, remember. So this is 1, we'll take it as 1, and that is parallel to this edge. So this is the one pair. So we can even write it down here, 1. Like our tally marks, we can put it down here. So that is one pair. Now the same line, I can take it as 2. It is parallel to the bottom one here, isn't it? It's parallel to this line. So that is the second pair. Now the same line is parallel also to this. So if I extend this line and I extend this line, I will have the third pair. Okay, both are parallel to each other. Now let me take this line. This line we already said is parallel to this line. Now this line is also parallel to this. This straight line is parallel to this straight line. So I'll take that as 4. So let's take that as 4. This line is parallel to this line. Similarly, the same line is parallel to this line. So that's 5. So we have 5 tally marks there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and the fifth one. So it's parallel there. Now let's look at this line. Now this line is parallel to this line, isn't it? So that will be 6. So this is 6 and this is also 6. So we've got one more tally mark there. Then look at the same line. This line is also parallel to this line, which we've already written 5 and 5. Now this line is also parallel to this line. Again, we've written 3 and 3. So we've got that. Now let's look at the lines in the side now. So we'll take this line. This line is parallel to this line. This line is also parallel to this line. This line is also parallel to this line. So let's write down that. So this will be 7 and 7. Okay, they're parallel to each other. This line is parallel to this line. Now this line is also parallel to this straight line here. This straight line. This line is parallel to this line. So that's 8 and 8. Now this line is also parallel to this line here. So that is 9 and 9. So there are 9 pairs so far. Now let's look at this straight line. This straight line is parallel to this straight line. This one and this one. So that will become 10. So this is the 10th one here and the 10th one here. They are parallel to each other. Similarly, the same straight line is parallel to this line. This line is parallel to this, so that will make it 11. So that is 11 here and this is 11 here. Okay, then now let's take this line. So this line is parallel to this line. This line is also parallel to this line. And this line is also parallel to this line. So let's write that. So right now we have 11. Now let's continue. Now this is the line. Okay, this is the line that we're talking about. That's 12. And that line is parallel to this line here. This is 12. Then 13, that same line is parallel to this line at the bottom. That's 13. That same line is parallel to the line on the other side bottom. So this is 14. So we have 14 here. Now let's take this line. Now this line is parallel to this line. And this line is parallel to that which we've already made a note of. Now this line is parallel to this. So there are two more here. So let's write that. So this will be 15. So this line is parallel to this line. Then 16, this line is parallel to the line above it. That is this line. So that is 16. Now look at this line. This line is parallel to two other lines. We said 9 and 10. Where is 9? That means this line is parallel to this 9. Then where is 10? This line is parallel to 10. Now this line is also parallel to this line, isn't it? So now we have 16. So this will be 17. This and this line are parallel to each other. These two lines are parallel to each other. So that is 17. Now, if you look carefully at every edge, you will see 3, isn't it? 3 lines that they are parallel to. So here you have 3, here you have 3, here 3, here 3. Now here can you see there's only 2. That means this edge is parallel to another edge which has only 2. So if you look carefully here, this one has only 2. Can you see 12 and 16? This is for this line. So this edge and this edge are parallel to each other. So that will make it 18. So there's 3 here and 3 here. These three will be the 3 edges here. So can you see now? Totally we have 18 pairs that are parallel to each other. So let's write our answer. 18 edges are parallel to each other. So now I hope you've been able to understand about the edges that are parallel to each other. Next question. How many pairs of its edges are perpendicular to each other? Perpendicular means one line touching another line forming 90 degrees. Okay, forming 90 degrees at the point where they meet each other. So such lines are called perpendicular lines. Now the question is, how many pairs of its edges, so these are the edges, are perpendicular to each other? Now here at every corner, so let's count the number of corners. So here we have 1, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 4 corners there. Then here we have 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now at each corner there are 3 perpendicular lines. At each corner there are 3 perpendicular edges. Okay, so since there are 8 corners or 8 edges there, these are the 8 corners there. So from that we can calculate at each corner there are 3 perpendicular lines. So 8 into 3 will give us 24. So that means 24 edges are perpendicular to each other. So now let's move on to the next question. Give 2 examples from your surroundings for each of the following. So you have to look around and find examples for intersecting lines, parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Intersecting lines are just any 2 lines that meet. Then parallel lines are 2 lines that will not meet at all. And perpendicular lines are 2 lines that will meet in such a way that an angle of 90 degrees is formed. So let's begin by looking at intersecting lines. Now the adjacent edges of a textbook, okay, are intersecting lines. Now if this is your textbook, what are the adjacent edges? Now this is one edge and this is the next edge. The edge that is side by side to each other are called adjacent edges, and as you can see they are intersecting. So you can see this in your textbook itself. And window frames also. So now if this is a window frame, and this is one edge and this is the other edge, and these are called adjacent edges. This L-shaped, this one arm is one side and the other arm is the other side of the adjacent edges. So you can look around and see in a window frame intersecting lines, in a textbook intersecting lines. Then parallel lines. Now the edges of a ruler. Now this is a ruler, isn't it? Look at the edges of a ruler. This is one edge and this is the other edge. Can you see that they are parallel to each other? So this is something you can see with you, isn't it? You have it with you. You can see it. You can see that the edges are parallel. Now, if you open your notebook, look at all the rules, the lines there, the ruled paper. Okay, look at the lines. Can you see the lines don't touch each other? The lines are going straight, isn't it? They don't touch each other. So they are parallel lines. They are examples of parallel lines. Then we have perpendicular lines. Now here perpendicular lines are again the adjacent edges of a textbook. Look at this textbook. The adjacent edges are perpendicular to each other because they meet at right angles. That is one example. And if you look at your blackboard, look at your blackboard. Look at this edge and this edge. Can you see that L shape there? They are meeting at 90 degrees. So you can see the four corners, you can see that there are perpendicular lines. So these are all examples from your surroundings. You can look around and find more examples. Question 9. State true or false, and if false, we have to give the correct statement. First sentence. The maximum number of lines through three collinear points is 3. That is, what are collinear points? Collinear points are 3 points that lie on a same straight line. Now, how many lines can you draw through these? If you draw a line and see, you can draw only one, isn't it? But here the question says you can draw 3 lines, which is wrong. So let's correct that statement. False, that statement is false, as only one line can pass through 3 collinear points. So these are the collinear points. Points, 3 or more points which lie on a same straight line are called collinear points. And you can only draw one line through them. Next statement. The maximum number of lines through 3 non-collinear points is 3. So these are collinear points because they're lying on the same straight line. So what are non-collinear points? Okay, non-collinear points, now you can have points anywhere like that. So here they're saying the maximum number of lines through 3 non-collinear points is 3, and that statement is false because you can't draw. It is not possible to pass any line through 3 non-collinear points. You'll only get, just different lines. You can't get 3 straight lines passing through them. So the statement is false. Question 3. Two parallel lines always lie in the same plane. Now this is a plane. And can you see parallel lines? Now the edge of this slide, okay, are two parallel lines and they are lying in the same plane. Okay, so that statement is true. Question 4. Concurrent lines always meet at the same point. What are concurrent lines? Concurrent lines are lines that pass through a point. So if you have 3 or more lines passing through one point, you call them concurrent lines. So the statement is true. They have to meet at the same point. So the answer is true. A surface can be plane or curved. Yes, surface is what you see on top of anything. So that surface can be plane. It can also be curved like you see in the case of a ball. A tennis ball if you take, or a cricket ball, the surface is curved. So this statement is also true. Question 6. There are infinite number of points in a line segment of length 10 centimeters. Yes, now if you take a line segment which is 10 centimeters long, there will be many points. You cannot count the number of points. So the statement is there are infinite number of points in a line segment of length 10 centimeters. Answer is true. There are infinite number of points in a line. Now suppose you take a line goes on endlessly, isn't it? So definitely there are infinite number of points. Statement is true. A plane has infinite number of lines. Now suppose you take this slide as a plane. There are many lines here. You can draw many lines. So we say there are infinite number of lines in a plane. Statement is true. A plane has infinite number of points also. Here we said a plane has infinite number of lines, and we know lines have infinite number of points. So therefore, a plane has infinite number of points. Statement is true. So with this, children, we come to the end of this exercise. Thank you, children.